Hello, dear friends, and welcome back to The Storyteller. As we step into 2026, the air is filled with possibilities. A new year is not just a date, it is a blank page waiting for you to write your story. Imagine for a moment that the life you dream of is waiting on the other side of your decisions, your focus, and your courage. Jim Rohn once said, "Your life does not get better by chance, it gets better by change." Think about that. Change does not arrive magically. It comes to those who are willing to take responsibility, to learn and to act. It is a call to wake up and realize that the power to transform your life has always been in your hands. In 2026, the world will continue to throw challenges, distractions, and opportunities at you. But only those who consciously decide to improve themselves will rise above. Today, we will explore 10 things that can truly improve your life in 2026. These are not empty tips or shallow advice. They are life-changing principles followed by legends, thinkers, and achievers throughout history. And remember, this journey is personal. Each point we discuss is a step on a path toward becoming the best version of yourself. By the end of this video, you will have a roadmap, a guide to help you navigate 2026 with purpose, determination, and courage. So, sit back, open your mind, and let's begin with the most important principle of all. 1. Take responsibility for your life. If there is one thing that separates successful people from the rest, it is ownership. The courage to say, "I am responsible for my life," is the first step toward true transformation. Too often, we look at our circumstances and blame them for our failures. We point fingers at the economy, the people around us, or even luck. But here's the truth. Blaming others is a trap that keeps you powerless. The moment you stop blaming and start owning, something incredible happens. You reclaim control over your destiny. Tony Robbins, one of the world's greatest motivational speakers, once said, "The only limit to your impact is your imagination and commitment." Notice the word commitment. It is not about dreaming or wishing. It is about taking full responsibility for every choice you make. Let me tell you a story. There was a young man named Arif. He worked in a job that drained him. Every day, he complained about his boss, the low salary, and how unfair life was. He felt stuck. One day, a mentor told him something simple yet powerful. Stop blaming. Start doing. That evening, Arif wrote down every complaint he had, and next to each one, he wrote what he could do to change it. It wasn't easy. It required courage and honesty. But within months, Arif started taking small steps, learning new skills, networking, and improving his mindset. Within a year, he had transformed his life. What changed? One word: responsibility. In 2026, imagine what could happen if you took full responsibility for your life. Think about the areas where you have been blaming circumstances or people. Maybe it's your career, your relationships, or even your own habits. What if, instead of waiting for someone else to fix things, you decided to own your results? Ownership is not about perfection. It's about accountability. When you own your life, you stop making excuses and start taking action. You embrace challenges as opportunities because you know your growth depends on your choices, not on anyone else. Another powerful example is the life of Oprah Winfrey. She grew up in poverty, faced countless obstacles, and endured abuse. Yet, she chose responsibility over victimhood. She focused on what she could control: her attitude, her education, and her commitment to her goals. Today, she is one of the most influential women in the world. Why? Because she refused to let circumstances define her. She owned her life. Here's an important truth. The world will not wait for you to be ready. Opportunities will not knock at your door if you're waiting for perfect conditions. The only thing that opens doors is your decision to take responsibility for your actions and your growth. Practical steps to start taking responsibility in 2026. Identify areas where you blame others. Write them down and honestly ask yourself what you can do to improve the situation. Commit to daily action. Even small steps matter. Growth is the accumulation of consistent, responsible choices. Reflect and adjust. At the end of each week, review your actions. What did you own? What can you do better next week? Accept mistakes as lessons. Taking responsibility doesn't mean being perfect. It means being honest and learning from every outcome. Remember, responsibility is freedom disguised as courage. When you stop blaming and start owning, you unlock your potential. In 2026, you have a choice. Continue to wait for life to change or take responsibility and shape your destiny. As Jim Rohn said, discipline is the bridge between goals and accomplishment. Taking responsibility is the first plank of that bridge. Once you step on it, the path to personal growth and success begins to unfold in ways you never imagined. So, ask yourself today, what am I responsible for? And then act, step by step, decision by decision. 2026 can become the year you truly take control of your life. 2. Read and learn every day. In 2026, one habit can completely transform the trajectory of your life. Reading and learning every day. Knowledge is not just power, it is a foundation of freedom, growth, and opportunity. As Warren Buffett wisely says, the more you learn, the more you earn. Think about it for a moment. Every great person you admire, whether it's Elon Musk, Oprah Winfrey, Tony Robbins, or Steve Jobs, has one thing in common: a relentless hunger for learning. They understood that growth is not automatic. It requires daily effort, curiosity, and an open mind. Let me tell you a story about Sarah, a young woman who felt stuck in her career. She worked long hours in a dull office, feeling like her potential was wasted. One day, she decided to dedicate just 20 minutes a day to reading. She started with self-development books, then moved to biographies of successful people, and finally explored areas she was passionate about. At first, it seemed small, just 20 minutes a day. But over a year, those 20 minutes added up to over 120 hours of focused learning. Sarah's mindset shifted. She started seeing opportunities where before there were only problems. She applied her new knowledge at work, gained recognition, and eventually started her own business. All of this began with a simple commitment: read and learn every day. Reading is not just about consuming information. It's about shaping your mind, expanding your perspective, and training your brain to think critically. When you read, you expose yourself to ideas, strategies, and philosophies that would otherwise take years to discover through experience alone. Consider the story of Elon Musk. From a young age, he devoured books on physics, engineering, and science fiction. He credits much of his success to his obsessive learning habit. Musk once said, "I read books. That's it. Simple, yet life-changing." Knowledge gave him the tools to innovate, take risks, and build companies that change the world. Learning daily also protects you from stagnation. In a fast-paced world like 2026, those who stop learning are left behind. Technology evolves, industries shift, and opportunities appear and disappear overnight. By dedicating yourself to learning every day, you ensure that your mind keeps growing, your skills stay relevant, and your confidence remains strong. Here's the beauty. Learning doesn't have to be overwhelming. It can take many forms. Books, a classic source of knowledge. Choose topics that challenge you or expand your skills. Audiobooks, perfect for commuting or exercising. You can absorb lessons while staying productive. Podcasts and interviews. Learn from the experiences of thought leaders and experts. Online courses. Deep dive into subjects that can improve your career or personal growth. Reflection and application. Knowledge becomes wisdom when you apply it in real life. Another important lesson: don't just read for entertainment. Read for transformation. Napoleon Hill, author of Think and Grow Rich, said, "Knowledge is only potential power. It becomes power only when it is organized into definite plans of action and directed to a definite end." Learning without application is like planting seeds and never watering them. Growth happens when knowledge meets action. Imagine this: 2026 is over. Will you spend your days consuming mindless content, or will you have invested in yourself? Learning something new every single day? The choice is yours. Every hour you dedicate to learning is an investment in your future self, a self who is wiser, stronger, and more capable of achieving dreams that today seem impossible. And here's a motivational truth. Reading and learning every day is not just about career or money. It transforms your mindset. It makes you resilient, adaptable, and more confident. When challenges arise, You'll face them with knowledge and creativity rather than fear. When opportunities knock, you'll see them clearly rather than miss them. Practical steps to make this habit part of your 2026 journey. Set a daily learning goal. Even 20 to 30 minutes counts. Consistency beats intensity. Keep a learning journal. Note insights, ideas, and lessons. This helps retain knowledge and apply it. Mix topics. Read self-development, biographies, history, science, and philosophy. Each area adds a new dimension to your thinking. Teach what you learn. Sharing knowledge solidifies your understanding and creates value for others. Review and reflect weekly. Ask yourself, what did I learn this week? How can I apply it next week? In 2026, your mind is your most powerful asset. Nourish it, challenge it, and expand it every day. Remember, the path to mastery is a lifelong journey, and the first step is simple. Pick up a book, press play on an audiobook, or dive into a lesson today. As Benjamin Franklin once said, an investment in knowledge pays the best interest. Imagine your 2026 as a year of compounding knowledge, where each day builds on the previous, creating unstoppable momentum. So, let this year be different. Commit to reading and learning every day. Let curiosity guide you, let discipline sustain you, and let knowledge transform you. The greatest gift you can give yourself in 2026 is the gift of a growing mind. 3. Focus on health and energy. Slow, reflective tone. In 2026, one of the most powerful investments you can make is in your health and energy. Without a strong body and a clear mind, even the best plans, ideas, and dreams can falter. Jim Rohn once said, "Take care of your body. It's the only place you have to live." Think about that. Your body is not just a vessel. It is the engine that drives your life forward. Too often, people underestimate the connection between energy and success. You can have talent, knowledge, and ambition, but if you're exhausted, stressed, or sick, your potential remains locked. Energy is not just physical. It is mental, emotional, and spiritual. When all these align, life flows smoothly, productivity increases, and challenges feel manageable. Let me tell you a story. There was a man named Rafiq who worked tirelessly in a corporate job. He drank coffee to stay awake, skipped meals, and slept very little. Despite his intelligence and skills, he felt drained and unmotivated. One day, his doctor warned him, "If you continue like this, your health will break before your career does." That was a wake-up call. Rafiq started small. He began walking 20 minutes every day, swapped junk food for wholesome meals, and prioritized 7 to 8 hours of sleep. Within a few months, he felt a dramatic shift. His energy soared, his focus sharpened, and he started achieving results at work that previously seemed impossible. The secret? Consistent attention to health and energy. In 2026, imagine what you could accomplish if your body and mind were in optimal condition. Imagine starting each day with clarity, stamina, and confidence. Imagine approaching challenges not with fatigue or stress, but with vitality and resilience. That is the power of health and energy. Health is not only about diet and exercise, it is about balance. Mental and emotional well-being are equally crucial. Stress, negative thinking, and unresolved emotions can drain energy faster than physical fatigue. That is why mindfulness, meditation, and emotional awareness are important companions to physical fitness. Consider the example of Tony Robbins. He emphasizes that energy is everything. His days start with intense physical movement, breathing exercises, and a focus on mental clarity. He believes that if you manage your energy, everything else, focus, productivity, creativity, relationships, naturally improves. Energy is a hidden currency of life. Practical steps to enhance your health and energy in 2026. Prioritize nutrition. Eat whole foods, vegetables, fruits, and lean proteins. Avoid processed foods and excess sugar. Exercise regularly. Even 30 minutes a day of walking, stretching, or weight training can transform your energy levels. Sleep well. Your body repairs itself during sleep. Lack of sleep decreases focus, creativity, and mood. Hydrate. Water is essential for every function in your body. Dehydration reduces cognitive ability and energy. Manage stress. Practice meditation, deep breathing, or mindfulness to keep your mind calm and your energy stable. Limit toxic habits. Reduce alcohol, smoking, and screen time that drain energy instead of replenishing it. Here's the reality. 2026 will demand your best version, your sharpest mind, your strongest body, and your clearest focus. Health is not optional, it is foundational. When your energy levels are high, everything becomes easier. Learning, working, creating, and living. Let me share another story. Sarah, a successful entrepreneur, realized that her productivity was inconsistent. Some days, she felt unstoppable. Other days, exhausted and frustrated. She realized that her sleep, nutrition, and stress management were inconsistent. By implementing daily routines, morning stretches, healthy meals, and regular breaks, her energy stabilized and her performance skyrocketed. She didn't change her job or work harder. She changed herself. Her energy became the fuel for her success. And here's an important truth. Energy compounds over time. Every day you make good choices, nourishing food, consistent exercise, proper sleep, your vitality grows. Every day you neglect your body, you lose momentum. The choices you make in 2026 regarding your health will directly influence the quality of your life, your relationships, and your achievements. Remember what Jim Rohn said, take care of your body. It's the only place you have to live. Your body, your energy, and your health are the foundation upon which all success is built. If you neglect it, even the greatest knowledge, skills, and opportunities cannot reach their full potential. So, ask yourself, are you giving your body and mind care they deserve? Are you fueling yourself with energy instead of draining it with stress, poor habits, and neglect? 2026 can be the year you commit to a healthier, more energetic version of yourself. 4. Practice gratitude. In 2026, one simple habit can completely transform the way you see the world. Practicing gratitude. Gratitude is more than just saying thank you. It is a way of life, a lens through which you view every challenge, every victory, and every ordinary moment with appreciation. Oprah Winfrey, one of the most inspiring figures of our time, says, "Be thankful for what you have. You'll end up having more." Think about that. Gratitude is not about ignoring difficulties or pretending life is perfect. It is about acknowledging the positives, however small, and using them as fuel to grow, persevere, and create more. Let me tell you a story. There was a young man named Kamal. Kamal was ambitious, but constantly frustrated. Every small setback felt like a personal failure. One day, he stumbled upon the practice of gratitude. He began listing 3 things he was thankful for each morning: his health, a supportive friend, and the opportunity to work on his goals. At first, it felt awkward, almost silly. But slowly, something remarkable happened. Kamal started noticing moments of joy and opportunity that he had overlooked. His mindset shifted from scarcity to abundance. Challenges no longer felt overwhelming because he had a foundation of appreciation to lean on. Within months, his productivity increased, relationships improved, and his overall happiness grew. All because he practiced one simple habit every day: gratitude. Why does gratitude work so powerfully? Science explains it. When you focus on what you are grateful for, your brain releases dopamine and serotonin, chemicals associated with happiness and well-being. Gratitude reduces stress, improves relationships, enhances resilience, and even strengthens your immune system. In other words, it rewires your mind to notice possibilities rather than problems. Gratitude also transforms your perspective. Life is full of challenges, but when you cultivate appreciation, you start to see lessons and opportunities hidden within difficulties. Maya Angelou once said, "I've learned that people forget what you said, people forget what you did, but people will never forget how you made them feel." When you approach life with gratitude, you radiate positivity that affects everyone around you. Consider the story of a woman named Farida. She had lost her job unexpectedly and felt devastated. Instead of dwelling on the loss, she began a gratitude journal. Each day, she wrote down 5 things she was grateful for, even small things like a hot cup of tea or a kind word from a neighbor. Over time, her mindset shifted. She saw new opportunities, reached out to old contacts, and within a few months, she found a job that was better aligned with her passion. Her gratitude didn't just improve her mood, it guided her to action and success. In 2026, practicing gratitude can be your secret weapon against negativity, fear, and stagnation. It can turn ordinary days into extraordinary ones and help you navigate challenges with calm and confidence. Here's how to make gratitude a powerful habit in your life. Daily Gratitude Journal. Write down 3 to 5 things you are thankful for each day. Include people, experiences, or lessons learned. Express appreciation. Tell someone you are grateful for them. Send a message, write a note, or say it in person. Gratitude grows when shared. Reflect on challenges. Identify lessons and difficulties. Ask yourself, what can I learn from this? What is still good in my life despite this challenge? Morning and evening practice. Start and end your day with gratitude. It sets your mindset for the day and helps you reflect before sleep. Mindful awareness. Notice small joys, a smile, a warm meal, a moment of peace. Gratitude is often in the details we overlook. Another example comes from the life of Nick Vujicic, a motivational speaker born without limbs. Despite unimaginable challenges, he chooses gratitude every day for life, for love, for the chance to inspire millions. His gratitude doesn't ignore hardship. It transforms it into a purpose that uplifts others. Gratitude also compounds over time, just like saving money in a bank. The more consistently you practice it, the richer your mindset becomes. By the end of 2026, even small daily practices of gratitude can reshape your perception of life, your relationships, and your personal growth. Remember, gratitude is not about perfection. Life will always have difficulties, setbacks, and moments of frustration. But when you practice gratitude, these challenges become manageable, your perspective expands, and your energy shifts from fear to possibility. So, as you step into 2026, make a promise to yourself. I will practice gratitude every day. I will notice the blessings, appreciate the people, and celebrate the small victories. Because when you do, life becomes not only more fulfilling, but also more abundant, joyful, and meaningful. 5. Surround yourself with positive influences. In 2026, one of the most overlooked yet powerful habits that can improve your life is choosing the people you spend your time with. The truth is, you are deeply influenced by those around you, positively or negatively. As Jim Rohn famously said, you are the average of the 5 people you spend the most time with. Think about that for a moment. The energy, mindset, and habits of your inner circle shape your own life more than almost anything else. Let me share a story. There was a young woman named Amina. She was ambitious, intelligent, and full of potential, but she struggled to progress in life. Most of her friends were constantly complaining, making excuses, and discouraging ambition. Amina realized that the negativity she absorbed every day was holding her back. She made a bold decision. She would limit her time with people who drained her energy and seek out those who inspired, challenged, and uplifted her. It wasn't easy. Changing social circles meant leaving comfort zones and sometimes even dealing with criticism. But slowly, Amina began connecting with mentors, peers who motivated her, and communities that encouraged growth. Her mindset transformed, her confidence increased, and her life began to change dramatically. Within a year, she had achieved personal and professional milestones she never imagined. The secret was clear. Who you surround yourself with defines who you become. In 2026, the same principle applies to you. If you spend your days with people who complain, gossip, or dwell on limitations, their energy will seep into you, quietly shaping your thoughts, actions, and beliefs. On the other hand, positive influences, people who are motivated, disciplined, kind, and growth-oriented, will inspire you, push you to achieve more, and make challenges easier to overcome. Consider the lives of successful figures throughout history. Steve Jobs surrounded himself with innovative thinkers who challenged him. Warren Buffett sought out mentors like Benjamin Graham. Even in sports, athletes like Michael Jordan and Serena Williams built teams and circles that motivated them to reach extraordinary heights. No one succeeds alone. Influence matters. Positive influences aren't just about learning from others. They also include protecting your energy. In 2026, you need to evaluate your relationships, both personal and professional. Ask yourself, do these people uplift or drain me? Do they encourage me to be my best self? Do they challenge me to grow or keep me comfortable in mediocrity? Once you answer honestly, make a conscious choice. Seek out relationships that nourish your growth and gently distance yourself from those that hinder it. This isn't selfish. It is an investment in your future. Here's an important point. Surrounding yourself with positive influences isn't just about people. It's also about the environment, the content you consume, and the habits you adopt. Books, podcasts, online communities, and even social media can either uplift or drain you. Choose carefully. In 2026, consume content that inspires, educates, and motivates you to take action. Let me share another story. Farhan, a young entrepreneur, struggled to stay motivated while building his first business. He spent hours scrolling through social media, absorbing negativity and self-doubt. Then, he joined a mastermind group of like-minded, driven individuals. The transformation was immediate. He gained new ideas, received constructive feedback, and felt inspired by others' achievements. Farhan's energy shifted from stagnation to momentum, simply by changing who and what he spent his time with. Practical steps to surround yourself with positive influences in 2026. Evaluate your circle. Identify the top 5 people you spend time with. Are they uplifting or draining? Decide if adjustments are needed. Seek mentors and role models. Connect with people who have achieved what you aspire to. Learn from their habits, mindset, and strategies. Join growth-oriented communities. Find groups, clubs, or online communities that encourage learning, growth, and accountability. Limit negative media. Be conscious of the books, shows, and social media you consume. Choose content that motivates and educates. Be a positive influence yourself. Influence is reciprocal. By being positive, supportive, and inspiring, you attract similar energy. Here's the reality. The people you spend your time with in 2026 will determine your mindset, energy, and ultimately your results. Positive influences amplify your growth, while negative influences drain your potential. Choosing wisely is not optional. It's essential. And here's a motivational truth. Change in social influence often requires courage. People may resist your growth, and some relationships may end. But the discomfort is temporary, while the benefits are lifelong. The freedom to grow, achieve, and become your best self comes from surrounding yourself with energy that supports your vision. As Robin Sharma once said, your environment will eat your goals for breakfast if you let it. In 2026, protect your dreams by protecting your circle. Align yourself with people, mentors, and communities that push you forward. So, take a moment and ask yourself, who are the 5 people I spend the most time with, and how are they shaping my life? Then take action. Seek positivity. Cultivate inspiration. And watch how 2026 transforms, not by luck, but by the company you keep. 6. Embrace failure as a teacher. In 2026, one of the most important lessons you can learn is this. Failure is not the opposite of success. It is a stepping stone toward it. Too often, people fear failure. They avoid challenges, play it safe, or settle for mediocrity because they are terrified of making mistakes. But failure, when embraced correctly, becomes one of life's greatest teachers. Thomas Edison, the inventor of the light bulb, once said, "I have not failed. I've just found 10,000 ways that won't work." Imagine that perspective. Each failure was not defeat. It was a lesson, a discovery, a step closer to success. In 2026, your relationship with failure will define the quality of your growth, your achievements, and even your happiness. Let me tell you a story. There was a man named Rashid who dreamed of starting his own business. He invested time, money, and energy into his first attempt, but it failed spectacularly. His friends and family questioned him. His confidence wavered. Many would have given up, but Rashid chose to see failure differently. He analyzed what went wrong, learned through his mistakes, and adjusted his strategy. The next business he started succeeded beyond his expectations. Rashid's success was built on the lessons of his failure, not despite them. In 2026, embracing failure means shifting your mindset. Instead of seeing mistakes as a reflection of your worth, see them as valuable feedback. Every misstep is a lesson that guides you toward better decisions, smarter strategies, and stronger resilience. Consider Michael Jordan, Widely regarded as the greatest basketball player of all time, he was cut from his high school basketball team. Many would have quit, discouraged by rejection. But Jordan used failure as fuel. He trained harder, practiced relentlessly, and turned that early setback into a legendary career. As he said, "I've failed over and over and over again in my life, and that is why I succeed." Failure also teaches humility, patience, and perseverance. It forces you to confront your weaknesses, adjust your approach, and develop skills you would not have gained otherwise. In 2026, if you can learn to embrace failure, you will not only improve your results, but also cultivate inner strength and wisdom. Here's another story. A young woman named Lena dreamed of becoming an author. Her first manuscript was rejected by every publisher she submitted to. She felt discouraged and doubted her talent. But instead of giving up, she asked for feedback, improved her writing, and tried again. The second book she wrote was accepted and became a bestseller. Lena's failure was not a dead end. It was a stepping stone to her dream. So, how can you embrace failure as a teacher in 2026? Here are some practical steps. Reframe failure. View every setback as feedback, not a verdict. Ask, what can I learn from this? Analyze and adjust. Identify what went wrong, why it happened, and how to improve next time. Failure is data for growth. Detach ego from outcome. Failure does not define your worth. Your actions, learning, and persistence do. Persist with consistency. Success is often a result of repeated effort, learning from failures, and refining your approach. In 2026, the world will challenge you in unexpected ways. Projects may fail, relationships may falter, opportunities may slip away. But if you approach failure with a mindset of a student rather than a victim, every setback becomes a lesson, every disappointment becomes a guide, and every obstacle becomes an opportunity to grow stronger. Steve Jobs, the co-founder of Apple, faced public failures and was even fired from his own company. Yet, he embraced these failures as lessons and used them to create some of the most innovative products in the world. He understood that failure is not final, it is formative. Another important point, failure builds resilience. In 2026, life will test you. Challenges, mistakes, and setbacks are inevitable. The difference between those who succeed and those who quit is not luck. It is the ability to embrace failure, learn from it, and keep moving forward. Remember, every great achievement in history is built on countless failures. Every invention, business, artwork, and breakthrough is a result of persistence after setbacks. Failure is not your enemy. It is your teacher, your mentor, and your guide. So, as you step into 2026, make this promise to yourself. I will embrace failure. I will learn from mistakes, adjust my path, and keep moving forward. I will see every setback as an opportunity to grow stronger, wiser, and more prepared for success. As Michael Jordan reminds us, I've failed over and over and over again in my life, and that is why I succeed. Let 2026 be your year to stop fearing failure and start learning from it. When you do, nothing can stop your growth. 7. Set clear goals and priorities. In 2026, one of the most crucial steps toward personal growth and success is setting clear goals and priorities. Without direction, even the most talented, hardworking, and motivated individuals can drift aimlessly through life, wasting time, energy, and potential. As Stephen Covey wisely said, begin with the end in mind. Think about it. When you know exactly where you are headed, every decision, every action, and every moment aligns with that vision. Your focus sharpens, distractions fade, and your progress becomes intentional rather than random. Goals are not just dreams written on paper. They are commitments to yourself and your future. Let me tell you a story. There was a young man named Farid who dreamed of becoming a successful entrepreneur. He had ideas, ambition, and energy, but no clear plan. Every day, he worked hard but often found himself busy with tasks that didn't matter, leaving him frustrated and stagnant. One day, he met a mentor who asked a simple question. Farid, what is your end goal? Farid had never defined it clearly. The mentor helped him set specific goals, both short-term and long-term, and prioritize the tasks that would move him toward them. Within months, Farid's productivity skyrocketed. He could see tangible progress, make better decisions, and stay motivated even during challenges. By the end of the year, he had achieved milestones he once thought impossible. The secret? Clarity and priorities. In 2026, clarity will be your compass. Goals provide direction, while priorities provide focus. Together, they allow you to channel your energy toward what truly matters, avoiding distractions, procrastination, and wasted effort. Consider the lives of successful people throughout history. Elon Musk sets audacious goals for SpaceX and Tesla, breaking them down into smaller, actionable steps. Warren Buffett prioritizes tasks that have the highest impact, focusing on what truly moves the needle in life and business. Even athletes like Serena Williams and Cristiano Ronaldo meticulously plan their training, recovery, and competitions to achieve peak performance. But here's the key: setting goals is not enough. You must prioritize ruthlessly. Not everything on your to-do list deserves equal attention. In 2026, ask yourself, which actions bring me closer to my most important goals? Which activities waste my time or energy? What can I say no to today so I can say yes to what truly matters? Practical steps to set clear goals and priorities in 2026. Define your vision. Imagine where you want to be by the end of the year, 5 years, and even 10 years. Make it specific and vivid. Break goals into actionable steps. Large goals can feel overwhelming. Divide them into daily, weekly, and monthly actions. Use SMART goals: specific, measurable, achievable, relevant, time-bound. This framework turns dreams into achievable plans. Prioritize tasks. Identify high-impact activities that align with your goals. Use the 80-20 principle. 20% of your actions often produce 80% of your results. Review and adjust. At the end of each week or month, assess progress. Celebrate wins, learn from setbacks, and refine priorities. The truth is, in 2026, your time and energy are limited. Every day, you make choices that shape your future. Without clarity and priorities, you risk being pulled in multiple directions, leaving you exhausted but unfulfilled. With clear goals, you channel your energy like a laser, creating momentum and results. Remember what Brian Tracy said: the key to success is to focus our conscious mind on things we desire, not things we fear. Goals and priorities allow you to focus on what you want, rather than getting lost in fear, uncertainty, or distractions. Another important point: goals also fuel motivation. When you know what you are working toward and see progress, even small steps inspire continued effort. Without goals, motivation wavers because the path seems unclear. With goals, every action becomes purposeful, every challenge becomes meaningful, and every victory, no matter how small, reinforces your journey. So, as you step into 2026, make a promise to yourself. I will define my goals clearly. I will prioritize what matters most. I will act intentionally every day to move closer to my vision. When you do, you don't just live, you thrive. You don't just dream, you achieve. Remember Stephen Covey's words: begin with the end in mind. Let 2026 be the year you focus your energy, set clear goals, and pursue them relentlessly. The clarity you create today will define the success and fulfillment you experience tomorrow. 8. Practice mindfulness and self-awareness. In 2026, one of the greatest skills you can develop is not something outside of you. It is the ability to understand yourself, your thoughts, your emotions, your reactions, your fears, your habits. Lao Tzu once said, "Knowing others is intelligence. Knowing yourself is true wisdom." Most people go through life reacting. Someone says something, they get angry. Something goes wrong, they panic. They scroll, they rush, they worry. They repeat the same patterns. But the people who truly grow, they pause, they observe, they become aware. That is mindfulness. Let me tell you a story. There was a man named Imran, smart, hardworking, ambitious, but he had a problem. He was always stressed. Every little problem felt like a disaster. Every delay made him angry. Every criticism hurt deeply. One day, a mentor told him something strange. "Imran, your biggest problem is not your job. It is your untrained mind. So Imran started a simple practice. Every morning, he sat quietly for 10 minutes. No phone, no noise, just breathing and observing his thoughts. At first, it was uncomfortable. His mind was chaotic, worries, fears, memories. But slowly, something magical happened. He started to notice, I am not my thoughts. I am the one who sees them. And with that awareness, his life began to change. Mindfulness is not about becoming emotionless. It is about becoming aware. When you are aware, you no longer react blindly. You choose. In 2026, imagine how powerful that is. Instead of exploding in anger, you pause. Instead of giving up in fear, you breathe. Instead of sabotaging yourself, you choose wisely. That is self-mastery. Eckhart Tolle said, awareness is the greatest agent for change. When you become aware of your habits, you can change them. When you become aware of your fears, they lose power. When you become aware of your thoughts, you no longer become their prisoner. Self-awareness is how you break old patterns. Why do you procrastinate? Why do you doubt yourself? Why do you repeat the same mistakes in relationships, money, and life? The answers are inside you, but only awareness can reveal them. Let me share another story. A woman named Farzana kept attracting toxic relationships. Every time, the same pain, different faces, same outcome. Through mindfulness, she discovered something powerful. She was afraid of being alone, so she accepted less than she deserved. Once she became aware, everything changed. She raised her standards. She chose differently. Her life changed, not because people changed, but because she became conscious. That is the power of self-awareness. In 2026, mindfulness will help you control your emotions, reduce stress, improve relationships, make better decisions, break bad habits, increase focus, and find peace even in chaos. Here's how you practice it. 1. Daily stillness. Spend 5 to 10 minutes in silence. Just breathe and observe your thoughts. No judgment, just awareness. 2. Watch your reactions. When you feel angry, sad, or anxious, pause. Ask, why am I feeling this? That question changes everything. 3. Journal your mind. Write down what you think, feel, and fear. Your patterns will reveal themselves. 4. Be present. When you eat, eat. When you listen, listen. When you walk, walk. Presence turns ordinary moments into powerful ones. 5. Question your stories. Your mind tells you stories. I'm not good enough. I'll fail. They don't like me. Question them. Most of them are lies. In 2026, the world will be loud. Social media, news, pressure, comparison. But mindfulness will give you something priceless. Inner silence. And in that silence, you will hear your true self. Not fear, not doubt, not conditioning, but your real power. As Buddha said, you are what you think. So train your mind, observe your thoughts, and choose wisely. Let 2026 be the year you stop living on autopilot and start living consciously. Because the moment you know yourself, you become unstoppable. 9. Give and serve others. In 2026, if you truly want to improve your life, learn this secret. The more you give, the more you grow. The world teaches us to take, to compete, to protect, to look after only ourselves. But life rewards those who serve. Maya Angelou once said, I've learned that making a living is not the same as making a life. A meaningful life is built through contribution. Let me tell you a story. There was a man named Rahim. He was successful by society's standards. Good job, nice house, respect. But something felt empty. One day, he volunteered at a local school teaching poor children for free. At first, he did it out of duty, but slowly something changed inside him. When he saw a child smile because of his help, when he saw someone's life improve because of his time, he felt a happiness he had never felt before. Not money, not fame, not achievement, purpose. And purpose is the deepest form of success. In 2026, you will realize something powerful. When you serve others, you become bigger than your problems. Your pain shrinks. Your worries fade. Your life gains meaning. The Dalai Lama said, if you want others to be happy, practice compassion. If you want to be happy, practice compassion. Giving doesn't make you weaker. It makes you stronger. It trains your heart. It expands your soul. It builds confidence and self-worth. And here is the beautiful truth. Life has a strange way of returning what you give. When you give kindness, kindness returns. When you give help, help appears. When you give value, opportunities come. Not always from the same person, but always from life. Let me tell you another story. A woman named Navila started helping people online for free. Advice, motivation, listening. She didn't expect anything. Months later, those same people supported her business, promoted her work, opened doors for her. She didn't chase success. She created value, and success followed. In 2026, your greatest growth will not come from what you get. It will come from what you give. You can give in many ways. Your time, your knowledge, your kindness, your attention, your encouragement, your skills. You don't need to be rich to be generous. You just need a big heart. Even a smile can change someone's day. Even a few words can save someone from giving up. And here is something most people don't realize. When you help others, you heal yourself. Service removes loneliness. It removes depression. It removes meaninglessness. Because suddenly your life matters. You are not just surviving, you are contributing. And that changes everything. In 2026, ask yourself this question often. Who did I help today? Not what did I get? Not how much did I earn? But who became better because of me? That is real success. As Albert Schweitzer said, the only ones among you who will be really happy are those who have sought and found how to serve. Let this year be the year you become a giver, a light, a support, a blessing in someone else's life. And watch how life blesses you back. 10. Take consistent action. Vision without action is a dream. Action without vision is noise. But vision with action changes a world. Joel A. Barker. In 2026, there will be one thing that separates the winners from the dreamers. Not intelligence, not talent, not luck, consistency. Because the world is full of people who know what to do, but very few who actually do it every day. Let me tell you a story. There were two men who wanted to change their lives. The first one was inspired. He watched motivational videos. He wrote goals. He made big plans. But after a few days, he became tired, then distracted, then busy, and slowly, his dreams died in silence. The second man was not special, not smarter, not richer, but every day he took one small step, one page of reading, one workout, 1 hour of work, one brave decision. 365 days later, he was unrecognizable. This is the power of consistent action. In 2026, you will not rise to the level of your dreams. You will fall to the level of your habits. James Clear said, you do not rise to the level of your goals. You fall to the level of your systems. Big success is never built in one day. It is built in invisible moments. The early mornings, the lonely nights, the days when no one is watching, the days when motivation is gone. Those days decide your future. Most people wait to feel ready, but the truth is, action creates motivation, not the other way around. You don't get confident and then start. You start and then confidence comes. You don't feel strong and then train. You train and then strength comes. You don't wait for life to change. You change and life follows. In 2026, stop waiting. Do it scared. Do it tired. Do it imperfect. Just do it. Every successful person you admire started small. Walt Disney was fired. Steve Jobs was rejected. Oprah was told she wasn't good enough. But they kept going. Not because they were lucky, but because they refused to quit. Muhammad Ali said, I hated every minute of training, but I said, don't quit. Suffer now and live the rest of your life as a champion. That is the price of greatness. Consistency hurts at first, but regret hurts more. In 2026, decide this. No more excuses. No more delays. No more waiting for perfect conditions. You will build your future one disciplined day at a time. Even when it feels boring. Even when no one claps. Even when results are slow. Because slow progress is still progress. And one day, all those small actions will explode into massive success. You will look back and say, I didn't get lucky. I stayed consistent. And that will be your greatest victory. Dear listener, 2026 is not just another year. It is a new chapter, a chance to become stronger, smarter, braver, and more powerful than you have ever been. But change will not come from wishing. It will come from doing. Remember this. Your habits shape your future. Your mindset shapes your destiny. Your actions shape your life. You are not here by accident. You are here to rise. So take these 10 principles and live them, not for a week, not for a month, but for a lifetime. And one day, you'll become the story that others look up to. If this message touched your heart, if it inspired you even a little, subscribe to The Storyteller. Because every story here is written to awaken the greatness inside you. Your journey has just begun. See you in the next story.